Good morning, viewer. Beyond this here is a breaking news. A new study from Tel Aviv University has examined what happens to birds that are accustomed to living around humans. When their habitat is suddenly employed of the presence of humans, among other birds, the researchers tested crows, ringneck, parakeets, and graceful pioneers, and the findings are surprising. While the crows and ringneck parakeets, who are characterized by their tendency to follow humans, are already accustomed to the noises they make and feed on their food scraps, decreased their activity. The graceful pioneers, which are considered shy, actually increase their activity in the same area. The findings are published in the journal ELI. The research was conducted under the leadership of research student Kongan Shron, Dr. Arjan Munman, and Professor Vasi Yoval, head of the Sagoy School of Neuroscience and a member of the School of Zoology at TAU. In collaboration with Professor Asaf Swartz from the Landscape Architecture Department of the Technion. As per the current study, the researchers took advantage of the first COVID-19 lockdown to test the interrelationships between man and nature and placed 17 recording wideband sensitive microphones in the Yarkon Park and the streets adjacent to it in the northern Tel Aviv. With the help of artificial intelligence and analysis of the recordings from the first days of the lockdown until 10 days after its end, March 25 to May 28, showed that the activity of the crows and ringneck parakeets was significantly lower. The calls from the crows in the park decreased by about 50% during the lockdowns, and the chirping of ringneck parakeets in the park dropped by about 90%. In contrast, the graceful pioneers actually benefited from the absence of people and increased their presence by about 12%. Professor Vasi Yuval explains, when the first COVID-19 lockdown began, we, like many researchers in many fields, identified a rare opportunity to conduct field experiments that would examine how animals behave in the absence of humans. In general, many studies indicated the return of species to habitats that humans had abandoned because of the coronavirus. But most of these studies were carried out through human observation, which obviously requires humans who are, as mentioned, the factor whose effect we want to examine. We decided to use microphones to allow us to monitor the activity of birds while humans are not present and to disperse them densely throughout parks and residential neighborhoods. We choose the Arkon Park area heading south until Adiozoro Street, and we place 17 microphones at a distance of about 500 meters away from each other. We choose the Old North neighborhood of Tel Aviv because it is an urban area adjacent to a park to enable a comparison between the activity of the birds in a park and the activity of the birds in the city. The researchers examined the changes in the presence of three particularly common and particularly loud bird species, which differ from each other in the extent to which they exploit humans. Hooded crow, ringneck parakeet, and graceful pioneer. The hooded crow is classified as a human following species. It stays nearby humans and feeds on their food scraps. The ringneck parakeet is an invasive species. It also follows humans. The graceful pioneer is classified as a adaptive. It adapts itself to humans and knows how to get along in an urban environment, but does not feed on humans' food scraps and prefers to avoid their company. Bien del Sipo.